After quite a few years of traveling and living abroad, I have made my fair share of traveling mistakes. So I made this video to make sure you won't make the same mistakes as I did. I bet some of these 10 traveling mistakes you haven't even thought about. Well, fear no more, I am here to save you. Quick thing before we start, if you're new here, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more travel motivation, inspiration and information. Let's get to it. Welcome to Wondersilly. This is avoid these 10 common travel mistakes. Number 1, blaming a country because you had a bad travel experience. You will most likely have a bad travel experience along the way. Maybe due to bad weather, you experienced a delay, you got food poisoning, ill, or scammed. These are just some of the things that will make a bad travel experience. But just because you were unlucky doesn't mean that the whole country is really bad. And it doesn't mean that you will forever dislike this country. For example, when I was in Vietnam, I had food poisoning for 3 weeks straight, and I just thought, I don't like this country, I never want to go back. Looking back at it, it was actually quite a cool experience, except from the food poisoning. But the food poisoning shouldn't really be the thing keeping me from going back and maybe having a wonderful experience. Countries are so big and there's just so much more to a country than what you're able to experience in a few weeks or days. So give the country a second chance. Don't talk bad about the country just because you had a bad travel experience. Traveling without travel insurance. Thinking, oh, it probably won't happen to me is a dangerous thought. You just never know when something is going to happen. A travel insurance should be mandatory when traveling. It can help you from getting personally bankrupt. A travel insurance is good to have if you lose your luggage, if you have a delay, if your luggage gets stolen, or if something more serious happens. Get a travel insurance and get a good one. When I had my moped accident in Vietnam, I really got to see what a good travel insurance is versus a bad travel insurance. My travel insurance was from Norway. When I had the accident, I called them and told me what has happened, and they told me exactly which hospital I should get to. When I arrived at the hospital, everything was already paid for and I got exactly the treatment that I needed. Versus my English friend that had a travel insurance from the UK. He didn't want to spend much on the travel insurance and he chose a cheaper option. When we were at the hospital, he was calling around trying to get to the right person. He had to tell multiple informations and multiple details all over again for each new person he was talking to. He had the wrong phone number, etc, etc. And the insurance couldn't prepay for his treatment. It all ended up with us having to call friends and family and ask them to lend us money so we could be able to pay for what he needed. We couldn't get all the money that we needed right there and then, so we had to leave our passports at the hospital and to come back the next day. After this, we were completely bankrupt and we had to go back home. Not planning laundry day. When traveling from one place to another, it is easy to forget that you need clean underwear and new socks. Plan ahead and make sure your next stop has laundry facilities. Keep in mind that your laundry has to dry as well before you head to the next destination. It's not fun to pack all your wet stuff in your bag, so make sure you have a few days when you're going to do your laundry. In hostels, you can normally put a coin on a washing machine and there's a drying rack there for you to use. In hotels, you normally just give the laundry to the hotel reception and they sort it out for you. Pay attention to the money. Sometimes they charge per item and sometimes they charge for the weight. In Asia, it is normal to leave your dirty laundry at a local laundry shop down the street. And the good thing about this is that you also support the locals. Not having a budget. Before you set sail, you will probably have an overview of what your journey is already going to cost you. Most likely, you've already paid for your flights, some accommodation, and maybe some activities that you want to do. But traveling is all about being spontaneous, especially when you're backpacking. Suddenly someone asks you to join them on a multiple day road trip or join an activity. Maybe you suddenly want to go to another country or a different city. By having a budget, this will help you not overspend way too much. Not backing up photos. Imagine you return from your travels and you want to look back on all the nice memories, photos and videos that they've made, only to find out that your phone is broken. Or maybe your phone gets stolen. So make sure you back up your photos, your videos and all your memories on a cloud, Google Drive or whatever is there. Packing too much. This is such a fun subject because I really like trying to pack as little as possible. And it is so easy to overpack. But keep in mind that you'll probably buy some things along the way. Maybe you find some nice clothes, you want a new pair of shoes or you want some souvenirs. You should always leave space in your luggage for random objects that you collect along the way. A good rule to go by is to pack for 2 weeks only. Even if you're going for way longer, 2 weeks will give you plenty of clothes and you will do laundry along the way. Nothing is worse than having a overpack luggage before you even start your journey. Not packing the right shoes. You'll need different types of streetwear, shoes for when hiking, maybe a couple of nice shoes for when going out, and a few cute sandals and flip-flops. Well, if you have a designated luggage only for your shoes, you really don't need that many shoes when you're going. A common travel mistake is to bring way too many shoes. You can easily get away with only bringing 2 or maybe 3 pairs of shoes tops. 1 pair for hiking, 1 pair for normal use, and 1 pair of sandals, flip-flops, or something for the beach. Keep in mind that some places only allow you to enter clubs or restaurants if you have a nicer pair of shoes, but there is really no need to bring a pair of high heels, maybe in case you need them. If it really turns out to be necessary for you to have a nicer pair of shoes, you can buy them when you're already at your destination. No matter how many shoes you bring, I can guarantee you, after a while, you will end up just wearing your flip-flops everywhere. That is the typical common backpacker. You always notice a backpacker for the flip-flops they're wearing. Over scheduling. You are finally going to your dream destination and there is just so much you want to do. Planning every day from start to finish sounds like a good idea on paper, but in reality, it doesn't really work out that well. What if you have a delay? You will already be pushed back on your schedule. So you should always leave room for being spontaneous, relaxing, and just doing things that you explore along the way. What if you meet people that ask you to join them on something? Or maybe you see an activity or a place that you would really like to visit, but you just don't have the time because you run on such a tight schedule. It would be sad to pass on something possibly great just because you can't miss out on the things that you've already scheduled. So my advice is to live a little, let loose, and don't plan too much. Try to just let the days guide you and you'll be able to experience and create your own adventure as you go. Animal welfare. Riding elephants, petting tigers, holding snakes, and feeding lions. There are a lot of negative and ethical issues within the industry, even though it is super popular. By not doing proper research on what the companies actually stand for, you can potentially support animal abuse. Sanctuary is a word that a lot of companies use to make it sound healthy and to make it sound about the animals. But in reality, some of these sanctuaries are only there to create profit. So make sure that you support the businesses that are actually doing this for the animals and not for the sake of profit. Not planning transportation to your accommodation. Thinking that this is something you'll sort out when you get to the airport at your destination. Sometimes getting from the airport to the accommodation can be super expensive. So do your research before you go. Check the bus times, check if there's a train going, or maybe your accommodation can arrange some transport for you. Sometimes they do this for free. By doing some research before you go, you can potentially save quite a lot of money. So there you have it. I hope that this video will help you on your future travels. Have you done any travel mistakes? Please leave a comment below and let me know. Thank you very much for supporting my channel by watching this video. Feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more travel motivation, inspiration, and information. If you want to watch shorter videos from me, head over to my TikTok or Instagram. If you want to stay on my channel a little longer, some of my other videos are already popping up. I hope you learned something new today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you around. Bye bye!